All right, welcome back to WMAC Now with your host, Chuck Stevenson, coming at you today with a fight review. We're going to San Diego, California for UFC Fight Night, Vera versus Cruz. We're going to the main card, a strawweight bout. Yazmin Jauregui coming in at 8-0, taking on Iasmin Lucindo coming in at 13 and I believe 4 at the time. Now, what's interesting is that even though this fight was on the main card, both of these ladies were making their UFC debut. So they really needed to bring the action in this bout, and boy, did they. Anyway, let's get into it. First round, not much hesitation from the two from the start. Jauregui looked to land straight punches. Lucindo threw wide, looping punches. Now, Jauregui worked low kicks. Lucindo was quick to counter off of them, though. Lucindo herself threw some nice kicks to the body that I noticed and liked. Now, obvious speed advantage went to Jauregui, but Lucindo did tag her a few times with some power shots. And then Lucindo clinched in the final 30 seconds, and there was a few knees exchanged between the two of them. So that was your first round. So second round started, and Lucindo came out, started throwing more kicks this round. Jauregui started attacking the body more with both kicks and punches, which I thought was a smart move from her. Lucindo attempted a takedown, but it got stuffed, and the clinch action against the cage that resulted from that was pretty much even. If I remember correctly, Jauregui broke it off with an elbow. From there, Jauregui seemed better adapted this round to dealing with Lucindo's looping punches. She was having a hard time with them in the first round, but in the second round, she started to find excuse me, she started to deal with them a little bit better, was landing her punches straight up the pipe in between them. There was an exchange of body kicks at 3:45 that was notable, and then there was a slight knockdown by a Lucindo body kick, but there wasn't really any damage done from it. So we go to the third round. There were some nice kick exchanges early on. Both were just throwing some kicks at each other. Jauregui really landing her punches through Lucindo's guard this round, and at the same time she was managing to avoid Lucindo's own punches. Big thing that I really liked in this fight was that neither lady was slowing down in the third round. Lucindo looked like she was really breathing out of her mouth more, but she didn't slow down at all. Like, neither lady was lagging in the action in the third round, which is rare because these two were going at it the entire time. Jauregui really started to outclass Lucindo in the later half of the round, though. She was making Lucindo swing wide. She was landing, like I said, she was landing her punches straight up the pipe. Lucindo was swinging wide and missing wide. So that ended the fight. Went to the judges, and two of the judges saw it 29-28, and the third judge saw it 30-27. All for the winner by unanimous decision, Yazmin Jauregui. Now, myself, I scored it 29-28. I gave Lucindo the first round because she did tag Jauregui with some good power shots in the first round. Okay, my first thought at the end of this was, whoa. This was a great fight. It had a lot to offer. High pace, non-stop action. Fighters went all 3 rounds. They never slowed down. And we got both technical acumen and some sloppy fun. So this fight had a little bit, I won't say a little bit of everything because it didn't really have any ground action. But it offered a lot, and it offered it throughout the entire fight, which is great to see. Both ladies, lived up to the expectations you get from being put on the main card. Now, big note here in this bout is that this was a classic lesson of straight punches over looping punches. Jauregui's straight punches right down the middle over Lucindo. I don't think she threw a straight punch the entire fight. Everything was looping. But this is a lesson of straight punches over looping punches. Straight punches are going to be faster. They're going to be more accurate. They require less energy, and they're going to transfer power better. Now, obviously, that does not include proper, effective, hooks. But I'm talking when you start throwing everything loopy, just you're giving up speed, you're giving up power, you're giving up accuracy, and you're using a lot more energy to throw those big punches like that. So straight punches over looping punches, almost without exception. Now I did see before the fight, there was a lot of chatter online on social media and the forums and whatnot. They are questioning why 2 debutantes were on the main card. Well, I think it's safe to say that they got their answer, because everybody was praising this fight afterwards. A lot of people were calling it, the fight of the night, saying it was going to be hard to beat. Unfortunately, the very next fight really delivered, and it kept these ladies from getting a bonus. It kept them from getting fight of the night. Don't believe anybody got a bonus from this. Let me check here real quick. No, so neither fighter got a bonus from this bout. But it was definitely worthy of one. So look, talking about Iasmin Lucindo. Listen, she has power. That much is obvious. The big thing is she needs to work on her delivery. Now, she did land some. But as the fight wore on and her opponent was able to adapt, she wasn't landing those power punches as often. So she needs to work on her delivery, and we'll talk about that more in a second. Moving over to Yazmin Jauregui. Lived up to my expectations. I had high expectations for her going into this fight. I have a video on a channel from back in, I think, January, talking about prospects to watch in 2022, and she was on them. I saw her fight. I've seen her fights in Combate Global, including her one-night tournament win last August. Here she returns after a year of inactivity and puts on a great performance. Let me tell you something. The UFC has plans for Yazmin Jauregui. She was on the main card in her debut, right across the border from where she lives and trains in Tijuana. Because San Diego, you're on the outskirts of San Diego, you can see Tijuana across the border. So she's main card debut, right across the border from where she lives. And Dana White met her cage side after the fight, UFC President Dana White, and talked to her. UFC has plans for her, and with Alexa Grasso up at flyweight, I think Jauregui is going to be their Mexican strawweight star, provided she lives up to it. And I think she has a great chance of living up to it. So the UFC definitely has plans for her. So let's talk things to work on. For Jauregui, she lacked range control with her high kicks. She threw and missed so many high kicks. Now, maybe she was just throwing them up to create some distance. That is a possibility. But she needs to practice her range control better, because she was just way outside with them, if her intention is to land with them. For Yazmin Lucindo, she's got to learn to throw straight punches. I mean, listen, those looping punches, they'll get you pretty far in a lot of the regional shows, but in the big show, you've got to start throwing better than that. Also, she needs to tighten up her midsection. How are you 5'3", fighting at strawweight and looking flabby like that? I mean, how do you have a jelly roll sticking over the end of your shorts like that, like a flabby jelly roll? That should not be at strawweight in the UFC, and you're 5'3", so it's not like you're super short or anything and putting on weight. She has to tighten up that midsection. Now for fights to make, sticking with Iasmin Lucindo, I've got a banger matchup for her. Ariane Carnelossi. Who doesn't want to see those two go in there and just throw looping punches at each other for 15 minutes and see who lasts the longest? That'd be a heck of a fight. Sloppy, but it would be fun. Now, as for Yazmin Jauregui, well, let's not give her a ranked fighter just yet. Okay? She just made her UFC debut. However, we can give her known fighters that are on their way out, but have some name value and were previously ranked. So, give her either Jessica Penny, who was very recently ranked, but is not now, or Karolina Kowalkiewicz. Both of these ladies are getting up there in age. Both are on their way out, but both are former title challengers and still carry some name recognition. So either Jessica Penny or Karolina Kowalkiewicz will provide, a slight step up in competition here. Well, there'll definitely be a step up over Lucindo, but there'll be a slight step up in competition. They're known fighters. They're just outside the rankings, and would definitely build up Jauregui's name. So anyway, those are my thoughts on this one. UFC Fight Night, Vera versus Cruz. Yazmin Jauregui defeats Iasmin Lucindo via unanimous decision. Let me know your thoughts on the fight in the comments down below. It was a heck of a banger. Please hit that like button, share the video as well, spread the word, and while you're at it, go ahead and subscribe to Wmma Scene Now, the best, most complete women's mixed martial arts dedicated platform on YouTube. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.